Hi, class. We've been looking at the question, what causes seasons on Earth? And we've arrived at a conclusion after working through all of your materials and having our discussion. And here's where we're at. Seasons are caused because the Earth is tilted on its axis. And the tilt direction, this direction, doesn't change. You can see in the diagram on the right that tilt stays the same as the Earth orbits around the sun. And that is what causes seasons on Earth. The tilt of the Earth causes several things that lead to the differences in temperature that we see in seasons. The first is it changes the angle that light hits the surface of the Earth. On this diagram, the light coming in at the high part of the planet, the upper northern part of the planet, you can see gets spread out across the surface, and thus that energy doesn't focus in one area and warm up the surface as much. Closer to the equator, it strikes directly, and that doesn't spread the light out, and therefore it's focused, and that area warms up more than where it is spread out. So that's the first cause of the Earth being tilted, leading to seasons. So we're kind of breaking down the parts that cause seasons because of the tilt of the Earth. The second part here is it changes the amount of daylight that a planet has, or an area on the planet has, excuse me. If you look at the diagram here, you can see on the winter diagram, if you take that circle that is closest to the north, or the 44th parallel labeled there, you can see that it spends a shorter period of time in the daylight and a longer period of time in the darkness. And therefore, it doesn't have as much heating because it doesn't have as much daylight during the day. Now, if you move further down towards the equator, there's another line drawn on there, and you can see that that one has a much larger portion of daylight and a much smaller portion of darkness, and therefore that's going to allow more sun to hit the surface and more heating during that time of year. And you can see that it's got a winter and a summer, it's got angles, it's got all the components that we've talked about on this one diagram, but it's designed to show you the number of daylight hours changing because the Earth is tilted either toward or away from the sun in the summer and the winter. Take a look at that. Now, if you feel like a pro, here's just a little extra for you. You can try. You can just write this in your notes. Do not try to submit it to me. It's not something you have to turn in. It's just if you feel like, man, I really got this. I'm an expert. Well, then try these two planets and try to figure out if they have seasons or not. One that is straight up and down and one that is tilted almost completely over. Do they have seasons? Just a little extra for you in case you needed it. All right. Have a great one.